Good. We are live. Finally, a 2 hour delay. I'm going to take the blame. And you've got Mel welcomes the one and only Elaine Kylie Kearns,
Thank you, Mel. Thank you
all the
so
way from
much.
New York.
So happy to be here. Thanks for inviting
It's
me.
great to have you on the show. And no, you are an incredible force in the whole world of children's writing, and I am terrifically honored that you're here with us. But let's
Thank
start
you.
with the jingle. Shall we do the jingle?
Yes,
Yeah, we have to do the jingle. Right answer. Okay.
best part.
No, you're the best part. And the children goes we and Mel has. Oh, Elaine, I don't see you. Are you with us?
I am. Can you see me? No?
Ah, here you are. I can see you.
Okay, good. Frozen.
Elaine?
Now you're back. Frozen.
Elaine,
Mel,
Elaine,
you're
I know you're there
frozen.
somewhere. And it's pretty cold here.
Okay, there you are.
Okay, so listen, I'm going to go open the door to let some internet in.
Okay,
I
sounds
know that
good.
it doesn't work like that, but I have my superstitions like every other children book writer.
Yes.
So you have several books that are in the oven.
Yes, several in the oven. One published. So that's
Can you
always a
show
good thing.
us?
My published book.
Can you show us? Yes, of course.
Sure. This is my published book, Noahsaurus.
Noahsaurus.
Yes,
Your
guess what he
famous
likes
dinosaur
to say.
book.
Yes, it's a dinosaur book. So Noah likes to say no, which is pretty much what you'd expect from a dinosaur, a Noahsaurus. And then I am also.
Why does he say no?
What's
the problem?
We all like to say no, right?
One second, Elaine. Before you go to now, hold on. I want you to show a couple of double spreads from the book.
Okay.
And tell us who published it and
okay, so
show us
Noah
some double
Noahsaurus
spreads.
Was published by Albert Whitman, and it was illustrated by Colin Jack, a wonderful illustrator who also works for DreamWorks. So that was a dream for me to get him as an illustrator. I was so pleased when they told me that's who they chose. I think he did a wonderful, wonderful job with my cranky dinosaur. Should I just do like maybe the first two spreads?
Yeah, the show is about you, Elaine. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
You promised me also You promised me some ballet.
Yes. So this is Noah. Noasaurus woke up feeling very no. No, we don't always like to wake up, right? He woke up grumpy and he starts his day no to his woolly mammoth slippers, no to the taste of Smilodon toothpaste, and no to the smell of scrambled dodo eggs. So he just didn't want anything. So how about some Jurassic toast? No. And then he begins his journey of saying just no to everything that comes along. Everyone who tries to cheer him up, he is just not interested. And so then,
So
of
when he
course,
finds Elaine, when he finds out that he's going to become extinct, that's when he starts becoming nice.
correct. That's when he definitely becomes nice. Well, in his world, he doesn't realize he's going to become extinct. That might be a
Nobody
little
ever does, you
traumatizing.
know.
So he goes through his day. I won't read the whole thing, but he's cranky and he meets a bunch of friends, and some are all everyone wants to join him. Some are funny, some are just annoying. And then through a series of events, he ends up getting into a better mood. And the best way to get out of a grumpy mood is with friends. And
Or
so
to eat a pterodactyl for
or
lunch.
sure, that could be a good way too. So
Not for the
yeah,
pterodactyl though.
no.
So Albert Whitman is a wonderful publisher, and do you have an agent who repped you for this?
Yes, Linda Epstein from Emerald City Literary Agency is the agent, and I got the idea actually because I'm a teacher, and one morning I was working with a little boy who was obsessed with dinosaurs, and he told me about this new dinosaur called a Noasaurus. And I had never heard of a Noasaurus. It's an actual dinosaur. So even though it's Noasaurus, a Noasaurus is an
No,
actual
come
dinosaur.
on, you're kidding.
Yeah, so there's a little tie-in
No,
there, a scientific tie-in. And so he started telling me.
Is there back matter
No, actually,
on
the
dinosaurs'
publisher
mood?
didn't want to do back matter, but when I do school visits, I do have material that I pass out to the teachers, and they always have a scientific tie-in with that. So, yeah, ironically enough, you would think, because we're always hearing about how important it is to have an additional tie-in, but Whitman didn't want to have that in the book, probably because it's creative. It was more creative nonfiction than straight nonfiction. But anyway, it is fun. It's a fun fact when you're doing school visits, because everyone has the same reaction. Like, you're kidding me. It's an actual dinosaur. And it actually looks very close, very small little dinosaur.
It wasn't. I thought it was just my reaction.
No, everyone kind of has the same reaction. So it's a lot of fun. And the kids that love dinosaurs always love, and they always send me letters saying they looked it up and it was true. It is a real dinosaur. So it was fun. So I have to credit this little boy for giving me the idea, because I had been playing with, I had a draft or several drafts of manuscripts that were using no, because one of my favorite picture books, very simple, is No David by David Shannon. So I love the idea, because no is such a typical toddler, phrase. They don't want to hear yes, they just want to say no. So that's how the book actually, came to be, was from a little first grader.
That's no, it's wonderful, and for me, it's not. It's fiction, right?
Yes, it's
I
fiction.
mean, except for the fact that there were dinosaurs. But if you write a story about a dog, people aren't going to say it's informative fiction,
Correct.
because
right.
Um, so this is really, really exciting, and that puts you in this class of really published authors, which I keep telling people are one in many thousands.
Mhm.
And you are there. Now take us back to the beginning, to the very beginning.
The very
You don't
beginning.
sound like
Okay.
you're from New
So
York
when,
originally.
yeah, I live in New York, born and raised in New York, actually born in Manhattan, and then moved,
Really?
shortly thereafter when after I was born, my parents moved to Irvington, New York, and then we went from Irvington to, I live in Patterson now with my family, my husband and my children. Um, I have always wanted to write picture books, and children's books, novels, but it's, at least back, I graduated from college in the 90s. So back then it wasn't really something that you studied to become. It was something that you did if you were interested in it. Now they have MFA programs and there's tracks to do. I never did any of that. I have a master's in education, so education's my field. I was a teacher for many, many years.
What's that?
Um,
Hold on, hold on. A teacher of what to whom?
Elementary school, K through 8,
Teaching
English,
what?
English.
English
Yeah,
literature?
English, yeah, literature.
That's
So I
wonderful.
Yeah, so I
That,
taught second grade self-contained, which is all the subjects. And then I moved to the middle school and I only taught English. So that's where my passion
wonderful.
lies, is in the
Okay,
middle
so
grade
Elaine,
novels.
when you're writing a picture book, okay, you prefer picture book or middle grade? Which is it?
I have to say it's an equal love. It's just two different, very different. It's like trying to choose which child you love the most. They're both unique in their own way. And what I enjoy actually is going back and forth. So I start working on my middle grade. I finished my middle grade, but I'm revising right now. So when I finish the revisions, or if I get stuck, I switch back to picture books. So for me,
Okay,
that works.
middle grade can be over 10,000 words long.
Yeah, it's actually 46,000, my novel.
There you go. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more words. So which is more difficult? Middle
The picture
grade?
books.
Yeah.
The picture books by far are the most
Yeah,
difficult.
listen, everybody. Writing a good picture book is a bitch. It's like
Yes,
it takes
it is.
years. It's not like you wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I had an idea, about a mushroom who wanted to be king of the Zulus." Takes a little bit more work.
Yes, because where
So
I
let's go
have,
back now to, yeah. Go ahead.
um, I struggle when I write, I struggle with show don't tell. I'm very descriptive and I love describing things. And you cannot do that in picture books because 50% of what you're doing is shown through the illustrations. So you can't do that, but you can do that in middle grade. So I find middle grade to be more freeing in that sense, although the narrative arc is a little bit harder to master because you're doing it over longer, many more pages, and it needs to hit different beats. Whereas with the picture books, you kind of can figure out your beats much faster. But they're both equally challenging. But I'd have to say, if you pushed me to choose which one was more difficult, by far, I'd say the picture books.
I think as somebody who's written like all his life, but science stuff mostly. Getting a good picture book story is really, really difficult, and I tell people that it can be 50 or 100 revisions,
Oh,
but
easy.
it can, and I keep all my revisions,
Yeah.
and I'm not where you are. I'm still looking for an agent and so on. But it is a lot of work. But as
Mhm.
long as you enjoy it, it's okay. Writing is only for masochists.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You have together with Sylvia Lou an amazing Facebook group of 11,000 masochistic writers.
Almost 12,000. We just,
I want to go back. I didn't look for 2 days.
yeah,
2 days ago it was 11,000.
we just realized this morning that we're 12 away from 12,000. So we're giving away a great big package of books in a raffle copter to celebrate. But we just realized it this morning, actually last night.
That's wonderful. So we'll get there in a moment. Um, Start at the very beginning. What do you like as a little child? Um, are you like my theory? Are you stuck at a certain age? Do you write to a 5-year-old Elaine? What's your unfinished business? I'm going to open the internet door and you talk.
Okay. I have, I consider myself an introvert extrovert. Um, I love people. I love being with people, but then I also really love my quiet downtime. As a child, I was probably like most authors, really big on reading. Um, I love to read to escape. I'm the oldest of three, two boys below me. We're steps. So we're like, there's not even a year between myself and my second brother. And then there's a year between him and my other brother. So we grew up very close, but you know, being very close can also make you want like to have your own little space. Um, I was, you know, a good student, I, not a troubled kid at all, probably just very vanilla, just bland. Um, and then I'd say I always wanted to write picture books. I thought about it, but you know, it wasn't practical. Couldn't really make a lot of money. I knew enough that it was kind of a difficult thing to break into. And then I had my own children, which happens a lot. And then suddenly I fell in love with them again. And I said, oh, I really would love to do this. And I was home. And I said, you know, let me start seeing what I can find out about it. Thank God for the internet. So, because you can do a lot of your own research. And I joined Julie Headland's 12 by 12 in 2013. And I met Sylvia and Teresa and Renee Latulippe and Yvonne Mess and Victoria Warnick, Richardson Warnick. And we became just randomly, it was one of those like, I'm looking for a critique group. We just posted it. And these were the people that responded. So we started our critique group. No, I don't think any of us really knew what we were doing. And now most of us have agents, books. Um, but what happened with Kidlit 411 was I was doing research. So I was finding really great, like, you know, blog posts or articles, and I was writing them all down to share with my critique group. And I got so many that I said, you know what? I should really probably just put these online. And then I said to, you know, to my critique group, you know, I think I should put them online because there's just so many. We're going to get lost. They're getting lost in the feed. By then we had our own Facebook group. And Sylvia said, oh, you know, I actually have, she had a like a website, I can't think of the word, but whatever it was, because she's good at that. Um, and she said, we can use, oh, the template for the website. She's like, we can use this template. And I said, okay, great. And that is how Kidlit 411 was born. It went from then when we got a lot of links, I said, you know what, we should create a group. We laughed. We're like, oh, we'll be lucky if we get like 50 people to join the group. And it just became a labor of love. I love doing it. I love interviewing authors for the spotlights and the illustrators. We've gotten to know so many awesome people in the industry. And so it kind of just morphed into this really great thing. And, you know, it keeps you, because writing can be so lonely, it keeps us involved. And, we get to talk to somebody. I got to meet you. We get to talk, you send
No,
questions.
Elaine, it's the opposite. I got to meet you.
No, stop. So it's just been wonderful. It's been such a great thing, and we've won awards.
Yeah.
It's been fun. So I would never give it up. And we do the weeklies every week, and we still do the spotlights. We never miss. If something comes up in my life, Sylvia takes over. If something comes up in her life, I take over. So we work really well together.
And how much you get paid for this?
Nothing. It's a labor of love. The reward is just being in the industry. Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
You get paid as much as I do for doing these interviews.
Yes, exactly. And you do it out of love, and
No, but like you, I'm also learning a ton of things.
you do.
So, Elaine, what I want to ask you, you haven't answered my question. When you write a picture book, are you writing to amuse yourself? Is there some unfinished 6-year-old business going on here? You don't have to tell everybody. You can just wink.
Um, yes, I'd say definitely there's, the child in me. I write the things I would have enjoyed as a child. So I guess that's got to be true for all of us. It's very hard to take yourself out of the equation when you're doing something so personal and so raw. I happen to really like funny. I love funny and jokes and silliness and music and all of that. So that's kind of what I gravitate towards. I don't gravitate towards lyrical picture books. I wish I could write lyrical picture books, because some people just do them, swoon worthy books. But my books are more like fast paced and jokes, and I try to weave something in for the adults as well as the kids. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about Colin's illustrations, because there's a lot of like little tiny things in there for adults that adults would pick up that maybe children wouldn't. Especially from the Flintstones. I don't know if you are familiar with the cartoon The Flintstones. There's some little things in there that kind of reference the Flintstones.
I grew
So
I grew up on the Flintstones.
okay, great. That's me
I
too.
can
So
actually I can
Colin
actually
too.
I I can actually sing you the Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Go ahead.
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family.
From the
Town of
town of
Bedrock.
Bedrock, they're a place right out of history.
Perfect. Yay.
So, are you still a teacher? Like you juggle all these things together: writing, teaching, kids. You have pets.
I have pets. I have children that are in school virtually because of the whole pandemic. And no, I'm not teaching right now. I'm home. I've been home now for probably since right before my book came out. So that last school year I finished up. It was a lot because when I was writing and trying to get published in a book deal, I was getting up at 4 a.m. to write so I could get about 2 hours in before everybody got up in the house, and then I went to work. After like 2 years of doing that, it really burned me out. So now I'm just home. Thankfully, I'm able to stay home. So
So, so you have picked a good year not to be teaching.
yes,
So,
yes.
do you think you'll go back to teaching, or your dream now is to be full time in writing?
Yeah, my dream now is just to be full time in writing. I want to sell this middle grade novel. That would be really great. I'd like to sell my other picture books. That would be really great. Everything's very slow right now, like we discussed yesterday, even I think even a little bit slower than usual. But I agree, what Harold had said, that it's probably they're dealing with projects that need to be out now versus projects that maybe in a year or two will come out.
Yeah.
Um, but
Elaine, let's tell the truth here. Agents thousands of queries a year. Each of them sees thousands of queries a year.
thousands of queries a year. Yep.
Yeah, and they take on a couple of new clients a year.
Mhm.
Publishers print the traditional ones, a few hundred books a year.
Mhm.
And you have all of these established writers,
Mhm.
like yourself now,
Mhm.
who have one book out and, like the alligator or crocodile in Peter Pan, are
Mhm.
hungry for another piece of action.
Yep.
So the competition is crazy.
It is. It's fierce. It really is. And it is a needle in a haystack sometimes, you really, it's amazing sometimes I think about that I got published traditionally at all, because it really is, it is super hard. But at the same time, you can't think about it like that, because that will, I'm a big believer in manifestation, and you don't
Right.
want to get into that mindset.
It really is what?
You want to just keep thinking that it's going to happen to you. You're going to be next, Mel. You're going to be next. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And that's kind of how I always thought about it. Because if you do think, it's like lotto, if you do think about that tiny, tiny percentage, you're, what are the odds? How is it going to happen for me then? You don't want to
Okay.
think about that.
It okay. So I teach entrepreneurs, young startup kids.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly the same thing. I tell them your chance of having a successful startup is less than 1 in 100. It's probably 1 in 1,000. It's like writing,
Right.
but you have to have a cognitive dissonance
Yes.
between realizing that it's one in several thousand and saying, okay, but I'm also sure it's going to be me.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
that's what you have to believe. It did happen to me in other parts of my life doing other things, so it can happen, but it's highly unlikely to do so. And what I wanted to ask you, of those 11,000 people, 12,000, sorry.
Yes.
The 12,000 writers on Kidlit 411, there's a whole spectrum of really professional writers who help people that are less savvy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very giving site.
It is.
And then you have people in the middle who have critique groups and are writing and are taking the courses and are working with mentors, people like me. And then you have the people at the end who are falling off the earth
Yeah.
and running to self-publish.
Yes.
Do you have like this moment when you're reading the threads in your own group and say, oh no, oh no, oh no, somebody tell this guy not to self-publish his book, not to hire an illustrator and pay her thousands of dollars? Don't you have this moment?
Yeah, one of the things that Sylvia and I are always very, very worried about are the newbies being preyed upon. And we have taken down classes, we have taken down, editors coming on, or schmagents coming on and saying, oh, I'll critique your stuff. We do really try to vet everything that goes up on our site, and certainly everybody that is on the site, as far as editors and agents and critique, professional critiques by editors and agents and writers. We've really looked into it, and not just me and Sylvia. Like, we'll say to them before we put it on the site, we need 5 people to tell us, privately, send us an email saying that they got a good critique, not, I don't want a recommendation from that writer, or say the person that's looking for the critiques. I don't want you forwarding me 5 things. I want them forwarding it to us privately,
Now that's
because,
yeah.
who's going to say, oh, your critique was terrible, or, to the person. So anybody who gets up there, we definitely do. But as far as, the self-publishing, it's like people are people. So sometimes you get people that are impatient, and, they've been writing for 3 months, and they sent out 10 queries and they got no's, and they're like, okay, forget it, I'm self-publishing now. So,
Exactly.
some people do that.
Don't you want to say to them, please?
I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because if they're not in for the long game, and it's a long game, and there's ups and downs and no's and research, and sticking with it and revising, if they're not into that, they're never going to make it anyway. They're
Yeah,
really
but
not.
Elaine, some of them don't have a clue.
No, they don't.
When I wrote my first uh, children's manuscript, I was about 24. I had no idea what I was doing, and it took about 16 years to publish it in Israel. And just over the course of all these years, you realize that these things take time. But at the beginning, you have lots of people who say, "Oh, I wrote this. Where do I find an illustrator?" Oh
Right.
no, no,
Right.
don't find an illustrator.
No, don't. I know. Or even worse, you'll have somebody say to you, I had somebody recently send me a private message, and they were like, oh, hey, I've been writing a picture book about, she was a teacher, about my class. And so I'm ready to publish it. So how did you find your illustrator? Like, did you have to pay him a lot of money? And I'm like, wait, I mean, somebody like that clearly hasn't even just Googled, like, what do you do to get
Yeah,
your,
but Elaine, here's the thing. I can vouch as somebody who's made all the mistakes in the business. I have a garage full of mistakes. Um,
all do.
no, but in children's book writing, if you're not taking a master's in fine arts or something, there's really no way of knowing unless you find the right group, to find your group. So many shysters out there
Yeah.
that if you pay them money, the vanity publishers and the
Yes.
almost vanity publishers,
Yes.
give us a few $1,000s, and we'll turn you into the next whoever.
Right. And I think that's the key. The problem is that people don't understand that there's no exchange of money. The only thing, you get money. That's it. And if anyone is asking you to pay for any level of your book to get published, it's wrong. It's a scam. Something is going on that is not, that's not traditional publishing. That's not how it works. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. But I do think that people don't do just like the initial research. Because I did the initial research, and I found that out relatively quickly if you just use the right keywords in the search engines. As far as the nuances in picture book writing, the show don't tell and all of that, that comes later on. And that's more of a forgivable offense. I was guilty of it too. I was submitting way too early. I was sending, actually a few months ago during the pandemic, I searched on my computer like my initial queries, and I was embarrassed. I'm like, oh, they're terrible. But it's something we all do. It's a learning curve. And the longer you're in it, the more you learn. And, we're always just worried. To go back to your question, Sylvia and I are more worried that someone would get taken. And that's why I think the wonderful thing about Kiely 411 is that there's people like Harold Underdown and Emma Dryden that are these wonderful, people with all of this knowledge, and they will comment, they'll jump on, And that's the stuff that is just, it's wonderful. It really, it makes it such a great community because, I can't be on Facebook all day long because I got to write, and Sylvia too. And, all of you, it's not even just them. It's so many people will jump on. So many authors will be like, oh no, don't do that. Or if a new author's like, oh, I just got accepted from this publishing company, has anyone ever heard of them? And it turns out to be somebody that you're like, oh no, don't do it. People are very gentle about letting the person know, or saying like, oh, you need to look up this, or here's a link to what I found. So I think that makes the community almost protected. Like, we look out for each other, we look out for the people that are just starting out. And because people looked out for us when we were first starting out. So I think that's really one of the great things about it.
For sure. I have to say, frankly, that a couple of friends, they do advertise their courses on the in the group,
Yep.
and they do charge money for it. And
Yep.
sometimes there's a little bit of hype because
Yep.
Elaine, I teach beginners,
Yep.
and I tell them the only thing I can do is help you become better. It's like you say, it's a crapshoot. It's 1 in 5,000. How can I take money from you and say I'm going to make you a traditionally published author?
Right.
That's It's not going to
Well,
happen.
I don't think we don't advertise people
No, you
that
don't advertise, but
claim that. Yeah.
sometimes people post. But the
Yeah,
one you
sometimes they
the,
do. We try to take those down right away because that is not the truth. The only way to up your odds of getting published in this business is by doing the work. I mean, it's true. That's what they all say. You have to do the work, because out of the 12,000 people that are in the group, there's probably only 1,000 people actually doing work, doing it every single day, researching, revising, getting critiques, getting professional critiques, that, and it's a muscle. You have to exercise that muscle, and you can't just write and then go, I want to be published, end of story. You also can't just do that by taking class. I've taken so many classes, so many classes I have taken. And what I find now, and I'm sure you're probably in this position, whereas I would like to find a class for people that are a little bit further along in the process, that not necessarily have an agent, but know the basics of picture books, and know what to look for, and know show don't tell, and know narrative arc, and know all those things, and opening lines, and full circle, or the fourth wall. Like, if I say anything to you about picture books, you go, yeah, I know that. That's what I would like. I would like that. I do get that at the SCBWI conferences, the breakouts, which are great, but the pandemic has killed so much of that. It's been a shame.
Well, listen, you are a kindred spirit because stuff we do, our books, it's all free, and the fact that you and Sylvia set up this group for 11,000 people and the website that has every kind of information
Mm-hmm.
that you could dream of. And every time I write, you say, "Oh, Mel, check this.
Yeah.
You know, we have it all down here,
Yes, you're right.
right?
It's there if you can find it.
Show don't tell for intermediates who
Yes,
think that they're
exactly.
advanced. It's there. So I just, it's until we manage to meet. I'm just so incredibly grateful to you and for the thousands of people that use this every day. And if there are people who want to write children's books, you should know that it's a long journey. It's remarkably rewarding,
Mm-hmm.
and you should look for Kidlit 411 and join it today.
Thanks.
So that's remarkable. So we haven't talked about the Beatles and music.
Oh, yes.
You're young, but you like the Beatles.
I have to be honest, I don't really know that many songs. I probably only know maybe two. Um, Sorry. I
No, it's
know I'm
fine.
gonna take it you're a big Beatles fan.
You might say that. But it's
Okay.
also, I teach courses in 60s music, so I have to be a Beatles fan, but I am also.
Ah.
Um, so what other music do you like? You don't have to sing a Beatles song if you don't want
Oh no,
to.
it's fine. I can sing well, I can't sing, so I'm warning you right now.
You'd be amazed at the number of people on the show, over 100, who say to me, "Oh, I can't sing." It's like, oh, it's like when you give somebody a draft and you say, oh, "This is just my first draft,"
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
oh, but listen, Elaine, you can sing, everybody can sing. But what are you going to
Um,
sing?
all right, how about we do Penny Lane, since it's the one song when I was a little kid I used to think they were saying and Elaine because my name is Elaine. And it took me years. I think I was probably like 10 or 11 before I was like, "Oh, it's Penny Lane."
It's like reader response theory.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny, but yeah, so
You know,
that's the
you
only, and I only
you
know the
you,
first line.
you say yes, I say no.
Yeah,
You say stop, I say go.
they go. Right.
So so are you going to sing a little bit of Vandalane?
Yeah, sure. A little bit of Annie Lane. I don't know even if it's the chorus or the verse, but the part where it says, um, Penny Lane is in my ears and in my heart. Do, 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 do. I wish I da 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 da. That's all I know.
And
Good
that
enough.
and that and that's your favorite song.
Yes, that would be. And I also like Hey Jude, but I'm not singing that one.
Okay. So what music do you like? What is there outside the Beatles and jazz?
Oh, actually, when I'm writing and I'm home, I actually like to listen to New Age because it doesn't distract me and it's very it's soothing. Um, and but overall, I actually like every kind of music. I like classical, I like jazz, I like pop, I like rock, I like mostly pop, I'd say. Whatever's like popular right now is usually what I'm into. But when I'm writing, I like new age.
That I'll try that because I'm a musician. I teach music, and when I
Mhm.
write, I can't have music unless it's music that
Oh,
I'm not unless it's music that I'm not listening to. When I had
interesting.
a laboratory as a professor, my students were not allowed to have the radio on,
Wow.
just earphones, because I cannot because I love music so much. Whatever's playing prevents me from concentrating.
Well, that's what happens to me. So if I listen to something that I like if I listen to pop, I'm singing and I'm distracted. But if I listen for some reason to the new age, I don't know it and it's not really, it's not really songs. It's more noise and vibrations and yeah, so, you know, yes, exactly. So it's not distracting, but I feel like it keeps me more on task
It's like living near an airport, but a
or a
very,
train
a
station.
very, a very sedate one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Or maybe a submarine is a better analogy.
Yeah, that's probably a better bloop, bloop, bloop.
You might have a
Definitely.
book there, Andy Lane.
Yeah.
I love it. Listen, I, my last question.
Okay.
How come you're so nice?
Aw, stop. How come you're so nice?
I'm not as nice as people think I am, but I know that you are. Is it your
Yeah.
parents, your upbringing, um, your teachers? What provokes you to do so many things for so many people with so much love? Maybe you're
Um,
religious. I don't know what.
well, I am religious. I am very religious. That's definitely. I don't know. I do get a joy. It's kind of selfish, but I do get a joy out of giving more than I get out of receiving. So like just you saying that brings me probably more joy than if, I somebody I don't know. I just enjoy giving to people, and I've always kind of been like that. I'm like, I am that person that people are always like, you're always in a good mood. Why are you always in a good mood? You know, like I'm very rarely grumpy, or, you know, I try to, I mean, it's not that I don't have my days. I do. I get frustrated just like everybody else. But for the most part, I think I have a positive attitude. So does Sylvia. She's the same way. She's always like, I don't think she and I have ever gotten into any kind of a thing, or it, you know, we're very, very similar in that respect. So I don't know. Positive attitude.
I have to get Sylvia on the show.
You have or you
Her
have not?
favorite song of the Beatles. I must get her in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. Please speak on my behalf. Do you have time?
I will. You just froze
I'm
up a
fishing
little
for
bit.
compliments here. I said, did you have a good time on the show?
I had a great time on the show. Thank you so much for
So,
having
and
me.
I need to have Sylvia on because she'll probably say that her favorite song is "Hey Jude," because when she was 4, she probably thought it was "Hey Lou."
Yeah, exactly. Probably.
Now, this is opening a whole Pandora's something here.
Yeah, that's going to be your next question now
Yeah.
for all your
Now,
guests.
my absolutely last question for today, while I have you on the show, is the following question: what do you say to people when they say, "Shouldn't you be making money for kids at 411?" You know, people say to me, "Why is our books losing money?" You know, what kind of entrepreneur? I say, well, you know, we're giving something to the community. And if we ever make money, that's nice. But people make fun of me for that. They don't make
Yes.
fun of you?
Yes, they do. We could monetize it, but I think it would take away some of the magic if we did. Also, the information that we provide is out there. We're just organizing it in one place. It's not like we're creating content. I mean, you know, we created the group and whatnot, but the content we curate it from the internet and we put it in one spot. So it feels a little bit different than if you're making up something from scratch, or, you know, we're writing all the art, like Harold. Harold writes all his articles and everything that's on there. Even though he doesn't charge for that either. So I don't know. I just feel like it would take away the magic, and uh, we just, we get more joy out of leaving it the way it is.
Um, Harold is a magical human being.
Yes, he is.
So, and I found him through your marvelous group. Before that, I had another wonderful mentor, Mike Malbrough.
Yes. Oh, Mike's a great
Um,
guy.
and this was all through you.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't want you to charge money. I just want you to help people like me feel less of an idiot by doing things for free.
Right. Right. Well, we do say, you know, to people that feel that they can, we do have like a donation button on. And so we do, some people, you know, they'll send $1 a month. We use what we ask. So some people send us $12 for the year, which is great. So it's not that we don't ask, but I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
so this is a good advertisement.
Yeah.
Donate a little bit of money to Kidlit
Yeah.
411.
There we go. Perfect.
It's been a while since I donated some money, so after the
Oh,
show,
please.
I'm gonna.
I'm on here. That's good enough for me, pal.
No, don't be ridiculous. I should pay you for this. But
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not.
saying I'm being ridiculous because I'm not. You're being one of those people.
It's an
Oh,
oy vey
God.
thing, you know.
So fun.
I yeah, you know. So people like me, my people, love people like you. So this is a love fest until we meet. I want to say thank you and sending you love from the Holy Land.
Yes. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take
And
every ounce of it.
and I'm assuming that when you say you're religious, you're probably Christian.
I am Christian.
When was the last time you were in Israel?
I've never been to Israel. I would love to go to Israel
How could you be
someday.
Christian and
I
not?
know. I agree 100%.
I've seen where Jesus walked.
Wow.
I've been in
That,
the Garden of Gethsemane and on the Hill of Evil Counsel.
oh my gosh.
And I'm Jewish. Hey, come on.
I love it. I
You
love
got to
it.
get over it.
Hey,
Maybe,
Jesus was a Jew.
yeah. And he was right around the corner here.
Yeah. See, look at that. You got to give him
And
my
you
best.
guys got to come over. Listen, you know, when this business is over, we got to bring you guys over to Israel.
I would love to. Love it. I would love to.
We'll have it like
Someday.
an inspirational thing where we'll sit for 3 days in a holy place in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
We'll listen to New Age music
Music. Perfect.
and some gospel,
Just all the good stuff come down.
and we'll do nothing but write.
There you go. And we'll have hits. Perfect. It's a deal.
Love it. Elaine,
All right.
Elaine Kiely Kearns.
Perfect.
It's been a great pleasure. Bye, dear.
Bye. Thank you so much, Mel. You're the best.
Thank you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.